bó ṣe ń lọ láàrin àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́, abala ojú ọjà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ìkànnì Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Radio Garden, Orísun Ayọ̀ Radio TV. ẹ̀ló wọn ní 09045747173 tàbí 08161194386. Orísun Ayọ̀ Radio TV, àtàwa àtẹ̀yìn olólùfẹ́ wa, ayọ̀ ní tiwa. Orísun Ayọ̀ Radio TV, apáta pìtìpàtẹ ọjà mọ́kùtà. Orísun Ayọ̀ kàkàkí nínú agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́, àkàbà faratilé fún ìròyìn, ìpolówó ọjà, orin àsìkò.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an amazing afternoon and amazing to be on the show today. Tony Takwe ní Society Talk Show Teaching Arena, níbi tá a ti máa ń sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan ní ṣókí, àwọn ọ̀wà gbòógì tó yẹ ká ṣẹwọ́ ẹ̀ bọ̀lẹ̀, àwọn ibi tá a ti nílò àti dìde sí àwùjọ wa, àwọn ẹsẹ̀ bí a ti fi kún àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àgbègbè wa, àwọn ọ̀nà tí à ń gbà kún wọn lọ́wọ́, àwọn ohun tó yẹ ká ṣe láti fi fa wọn wálẹ̀. Ìlú arábìnrin mi Lọ́lá Èdìàrà náà la tún kí wa lórí ètò wípé àtúkùlé. The last time we came on the show, we discussed on some reasons why we need quality potentials in what we call teaching. Otherwise, today we are going to be taking it is quite unfortunately that mostly in our society, most of our teachers, I want us to notice something that when we are talking of Teaching Arena Society Talk Show, it is beyond teaching in the classroom. Today we are not talking about the teachers in the classroom, but we are talking about the society teachers, the home teachers, the skills teachers. Before you can impart as a teacher, you have to know what you want to impart. It is quite unfortunate that most of our nowadays home teachers, community teachers, they teach what they don't have. We want to impart what we do not have in us, and we expect those children to pick up and accept what we are telling them. We forget that there is a sense of organ called sin. This particular sense of organs grabbed beyond speaking. You did not need to tell them this is not right before they know that it is not right, because they see that this thing is not right. And what you are telling them that is not right, you are also doing it. How do you want them to feel?
Virtual DJ.
You want them to behave like a responsible child. You want to build them on a good foundation. But but you personally, you did not have the good foundation. Don't forget that they are seeing it, and the how they are seeing it, they are assimilating everything they are seeing. And what they assimilate would be the result of what they would bring out. It is more or less when the child decides to mimic. You personally, you would not know that this child is mimicking you until the child practices what he or she has saw in you. Then you would now know that, oh wow. Before you can correct or build a child on a foundation, you yourself, you have to check yourself and discover yourself if you are truly on that foundation you want to place them. Another thing is pattern of imparting. This pattern of imparting, most parents are getting it wrong. There is a pattern, there is a way you correct and impart into a child. There is something called nature. You have to discover the present nature of what you want to say. Maybe the nature does not call for shouting. You did not need to shout. Maybe the nature did not call for beating. You did not need to beat. This angle of nature also speaks to the teachers in the classroom. When I tell teachers in the classroom, it is not that I'm hammering them. Or destabilizing their efforts. I am also a teacher and I'm proud to be one. So as a teacher, we have to talk their reality to each other. A teacher in the classroom should notice the nature of the children he or she is taking. Or let me say must. It is a must. We should notice the nature in the present class we are taking. Sometimes the nature may call for playing. The nature that calls for playing, you should not shout. You have to play with them no matter the stress, no matter the hours it takes to you. But for you to achieve, don't forget I said the teacher is the farmer. So and for you to plant, you have to reap. And but for what you have planted to germinate, you need a lot of effort. You waste time. Not let me say waste time. You have to create time for what you have planted before it could grow and bring you out a result. So if you now call yourself a teacher and you find it difficult to discover the nature of your classroom, or you place the nature of your classroom wrongly, maybe the nature calls for repeating the explanation like 2 or 3 times, but after you explain maybe once, then the children fails to grab what you have explained, you take it to a wrong level and discipline them in a way you create fear that they would not even have understanding of it at all. The fear will have overcome what you want to take them. Take it or leave it, you have paralyzed that day class. Likewise to the parents. In parents, it paralyzed relationship. Because also the children would not get what you want to tell them, and they will be developing fears. From there, the relationship they're supposed to have with their parents would not be there. And these things are the basic foundation of the issue we have in our society. Because children that fears at school, the same fear you encounter at home. From there, the more they are growing up, they were going to mix up with peer groups that will lead them into another thing. And before you discovered, it will have gone to the stage that it is uncorrectable. So if you want to build, if you want to correct the child, firstly you have to know the nature and also carry the what you want to teach them, and you have to behave like the way you want them to behave. If you want them to wake around 5 a.m, you must be awake by that 5 a.m. They will know that, wow, my mommy is also waking up at this time, so it is right for me to wake up. The auntie that told us that we must not shout did not also shout. To the extent that your teaching materials in class must bear the quality of the teaching, of the way you want the student materials also should be. It is not that you want the children to have the most neatest notebook and textbook in class, and you personally that you happen to be a teacher, your lesson notes are rags. Another thing who happens to be the last on this show today, quality of a good teacher, or the responsibility and the quality you have to bear if you want to prove yourself as a teacher. Quality 1 or responsible teacher. Learn how to appreciate. Likewise, the parent also. There is a Yoruba proverb that says, "Yini Kenny Oshemi." Maybe you did not know that these children are also walking the way you are walking. There is no children you appreciate that would not bring out effort to make you proud tomorrow. When we are talking about appreciating, it can come in a way of gifts. Even appreciating sometimes does not need gifts. It may be clapping. It may be a word of encouragement. It may be the smile you present to them in class or at home. I've one encounter a student that told me that the reason why he would always want me to perform in class than to speak is because their auntie normally laugh anytime they answer their question, even when the question is not right. The phrase she produced to them is it's beautiful one, so everybody wants to look at Auntie's face, everybody wants to hear her voice because they know she's going to smile. Assuming the woman has entered the class with frowning face, anger face, and with a toxic reaction. Students will find it difficult to grab it. Most of them will come into the class with heavy heart. Auntie is here again. As a teacher, you have to learn to appreciate. As a quality teacher, you have to learn how to give your students a word of encouragement. You have to learn how to ginger their morals to what you want to teach them. Learn how to carry them to the level that they will understand you and what you want to take them. Remember, every teacher that teaches without no results will always be recognized and addressed as a dull teacher. If you are a parent, you fail to bring up your child to the best quality, people will always see you as a dull parent. They will tell you lack what you want, what you should have give them. You might be the person that has the best in the whole world, but because your children have failed to bring out that thing in you, you are particularly zero. Easy or no easy, once you call yourself a teacher, you should be ready to bear every consequence in it. We should not have it in mind that because it is very toxic job. Apart from that, teaching is
Orísun Ayọ̀ rédíò TV apátákùtì pàtẹ ọjà mọ́kùtà. Orísun Ayọ̀ kàkàkí nínú agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́. Àkàbà faratilẹ̀ fún ìròyìn ìpolówó ọjà orin àsìkò ìtàn ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ Yorùbá eré ìdárayá bó ṣe ń lọ láàrin àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ abala ojú ọjà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ìkànnì Facebook Instagram YouTube Radio Garden Orísun Ayọ̀ rédíò TV ẹ̀ló wọn ní 09045747173 tàbí 08161194386 Orísun Ayọ̀ rédíò TV àtàwa àtẹ̀yìn olólùfẹ́ wa ayọ̀ ní tiwa. Orísun Ayọ̀ rédíò TV apátákùtì pàtẹ ọjà mọ́kùtà. Orísun Ayọ̀ kàkàkí nínú agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́. Àkàbà faratilẹ̀ fún ìròyìn ìpolówó ọjà orin àsìkò ìtàn ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ Yorùbá eré ìdárayá bó ṣe ń lọ láàrin àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ abala ojú ọjà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ìkànnì Facebook Instagram YouTube Radio Garden Orísun Ayọ̀ rédíò TV ẹ̀ló wọn ní 09045747173 tàbí 08161194386 Orísun Ayọ̀.
So you have to bring out everything in you to make sure you put out the effort as the teachers. And the last thing is that as a teacher, let your identity, okay, you said it earlier, let your identity speak what you are bringing out. Make sure you have the best quality. Make sure you give everything it calls to bring out the best quality, to show out the best results, to show out your best effort. Yes, show out your best effort, to show out everything it calls for you to be identified, to be recognized, to be appreciated, to give you every quality that people see that, oh wow, this is what we call a teachers. So that we can come together to bring a structure that is acceptable to our community, so that we can come together to give our society a face, an appreciative face. We can turn our society to a good thing it calls for. Note that these things started somewhere, and if you want it to end at somewhere, it calls for my effort and your effort. So let us come together to do this, and I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. This will be the last episode on. This will be the end of today's episode. Join us same time.